Okay, so I have my file, no capital letters, no spaces that are going to show up as %20. My files are all named properly, so let's go ahead and have that image show up. So my image tag is IMG, source equals, and I have to tell it to go from this file into the images folder and then look for the max picture. If this was sitting outside at an equal level outside of this folder, I can't make it show up as a line out there, but if it was outside of that folder, sitting equal to the default, I wouldn't have to put an images folder, but it is not in the same folder. So I have to put the images folder here, and I indicate with this backslash here or slash that it is going to the max JPEG. And again, there is no content. This doesn't necessarily have to wrap around anything, so I'm going to put my slash to close my image tag right there. So let's go ahead and save this. And I think in the meantime, oh, there it is. There's my Max dog, and that's my Max trying to look all keeping his dignity after he got caught red-handed raiding the garbage can. So now let's say that I want to click on that Max image and have it go to the Alamo College's website. Oh, one thing I want to do before this, I want to put an alt tag. And alt tags are to help people who are using screen readers like JAWS know what an image is. So if an image is not just part of the background, you know, like my clouds here in the background of my screen, I don't have to put an alt tag on something like that because that would just clutter up something for a screen reader. But if it is something that is integral, has valuable information, you want to put an alt tag on it. So I'm going to say here, Max the dog more in a bag. Obviously, you're going to put whatever relevant is information that you would want someone who's using a screen reader to be able to see. This is also what will show up if somebody has their graphics turned off. So, okay, now what if I want to have this click and go to Alamo Colleges? So I'm going to have an A tag, and this A tag is going to have to wrap all around this image because I want it to contain the image itself. Now, one of the properties of my A tag is going to be where I want it to go when you click on it. So that's a hyperreference, or an href equals. Since this is going to be an external link, I need to put in the whole HTTP : // If I refresh here, you can see that now I have a finger that pops up indicating that the picture is a hyperlink. And I click on it and I go to alamo.edu. Now, if I had a separate page in here, like say I had a page 2 in here, and it was in the same folder, I could just say page 2. I don't have one. But if I did, not slash, excuse me, that should be a dot. If I had a page 2 and I wanted to link to something inside of there, that's the way I would do it. Later on, if I have something in a really long page and I wanted to link to an ID on the page, like I had something else where I said ID equals doghouse, for instance, I could do that and I would click on this and it would go down to that point of my page. But let's go back. Notice again, I have this in quotations. I'm using quotations to wrap around pretty much all of this stuff again because it's not a variable value. I could use speed keys, by the way. I get out of the habit of using speed keys just because if I'm always whipping speed keys and throwing speed keys, it tends to confuse people. But notice that you do have speed keys here in Text Wrangler just like anything else, and you could be using those. I'm just choosing not to use them. Okay, so the last thing that I asked you to do, and I'm just going to replace some of your text in here, is to use a citation, quotation, and just different types of text text formatting that you can use in HTML. In W3 Schools, it will tell you a lot of different ways that you can format font. And I'm asking you to try a few of them on your project, but I am just going to show you how to block quote and cite a block of text. So for this project, or for this, I am going to go ahead and I just went out to the WECM. It's the state guidelines of what should be included in this class. And I am going to grab these end of course outlines or outcomes, and additionally I have the URL of where this comes from right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a block quote. And then I can go ahead and I can paste all that information right in here. If I want to go ahead and hit returns in here, remember, as I had mentioned earlier, HTML does not care about the use of white space, so I can hit returns in here however I want to make this usable. Okay, I have a block quote, but I also want to cite this information to say where it comes from. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cite. I'm going to copy this URL. But I could put whatever I wanted to in there actually. If I had an author or something like that, other content that I wanted to put in there, I could do that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And then view my page. I think I shut it down again. So I'm going to view my page. And notice that this is blocked over from here. It's automatically indented. A block quote is going to be indented from whatever its parent is. And right now, all of the parent information is over here left justified. The citing is only going to show up if somebody's looking for it, which is fine. We don't necessarily need that to show up on the page. Again, there are other ways to format, but that is good for starters. So try something else that they give you in W3 Schools. And that is everything that is on the rubric. Ta-da! Of course, I want yours to be a little bit more interesting than this. This is basic bare bones minimum. You never want to do bare bones minimum of what is on the rubric. Take it, try to go a little bit further, do what you can do with it, and have some fun.